welcome back to Lesson 8. Here we go, the djembe. Well, I've got my cowrie shell shirt on, so we must be headed to West Africa. You know, the djembe is a very popular instrument, not only in certain parts of West Africa, but also in this part of the world, throughout Europe and beyond as well. You find it showing up a lot in community drum circles, as well as women's therapy groups, hospitals, and that kind of thing. So we mentioned early on in this course that when you walk into the community and you've got a drum, you're the expert. If you've got a djembe, guess what? You're the djembe expert. So it's really important that you understand at least a little bit about the djembe, and that's what this lesson's all about. But you must understand that here at World Rhythm 101 we truly are just scratching the surface. We want to make sure that you understand that, and that this drum is often played in a cultural context with dancers, ceremonies perhaps, especially in West Africa. It's also played in more of a rhythmical context, meaning that there are other instruments, melody instruments going on, singing, and other drums and percussion instruments as well. Particularly these bass drums. These are the tuned bass drums from the Manding people, where the djembe hails from, the kenkeni, the sangban, and the dunumba. And while the djembe sort of plays a little bit of fire and keeps the rhythm going, these drums provide the melody. We'll tackle more about the dunun in the course called Sticks and Mallets. So if you're inspired to learn more about the djembe, I certainly encourage you to check out a course in your area. That's where you're going to learn to play these rhythms in context and see how the different rhythms sort of work together and to create a full rhythm ensemble. Okay? Tam Tam Manding, by the way, is a great resource. If you've got some of those folks in your area, definitely check them out. All right, here we go, the djembe. So let's find out a little bit more about the djembe. The djembe, as you know, hails from West Africa, but it belongs predominantly to the Manding people, the Malinke, that today are found predominantly in Guinea, Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. The djembe is a goblet-shaped drum, traditionally carved out of one log and then skinned with goat skin. Calf skin is also becoming rather popular among djembe players today as well. To see some of this djembe making in action, I recommend the short film Foley. It's found on YouTube, and the name is right down there. Now, when you're playing djembe, especially learning some of these rhythms, it's very important to keep in mind that these rhythms belong to certain rites of passage within the Manding culture. And so there are particular rhythms for harvest, for example. There are particular rhythms for marriage, courtship, rites of passage into adulthood, etc. So when you're picking and choosing rhythms, it's really important that you understand there are some cultural connections to the rhythms that are played on the djembe. Now in Lesson 5, we introduced Babatunde Olatunji's language for playing our bass tones, our gun and dun, and our tones, our go and do, with our dominant and non-dominant hand respectively. But now we're going to go ahead and use Baba's language for our slaps as well. Just as a side note, Baba was from Nigeria. Obviously we're playing a drum that's played by the Mandinka. But I do believe that this language can still be very useful when learning this language and learning these rhythms. Okay? So for our dominant hand, we're going to call this slap the pa. We're going to use that slap number 1, that first slap that I often refer to as the djembe slap. The energy is going to come from here, the hand's going to meet the bearing edge, and the fingers are going to bounce off the drum. Pa, with our dominant hand. The non-dominant hand we're going to call ta. So we have pa, ta.
Pa, ta, pa, ta, pa, ta, pa, ta, pa, ta, pa, ta, pa.
Okay, here we go. Let's play some djembe. We're going to start with a very simple rhythm, one of the djembe parts for a popular festival rhythm called kuku. Originally this rhythm was played by women who were coming back in from fishing, and they would get their nets and sort of do a dance and play and sing songs. There are lots of wonderful songs for this rhythm as well. It's pretty popular. The reason I like it is because it starts on a gun, so it's very grounding. It can be played certainly in drum circle context because it's a very much a binary rhythm. So we're going to start with a gun, and then we're going to go gun, go, do, and then the last note is going to be one of our slaps with our dominant hand. Pa. So let's say it, and then we'll play it. Gun, go, do, pa. Gun, go, do, pa. I'll go ahead and clap the pulse so you can hear it within context. We're going to make sure that you recognize that pa is coming off the beat. Go to pa, 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 go to pa. All right, let's take it to the drum.